everybody. It is Friday, November 19th, and we are live at 1 p.m. with In My House, Mary Rohrer-Dann, who is our guest artist today, and Paul is coming to us from his own home studio.
Hey, Paul.
Hello.
So, how you doing today, Paul?
Doing great. Just happy for the weekend, and just looking forward to some time off.
I know it is coming up for that. For many of us, an entire week off.
Yeah.
For a few people, right, they're going to probably work through what, Wednesday maybe?
Possibly.
Some
of us are not working at all.
Some of us are retired and working on our writing.
Oh, wonderful.
Things like that. All right. Out of the way. Okay. So, Mary is here today to talk to us about her latest book, Taking the Long Way Home, and she's going to show us a copy of it. Yay! So let's just start. Tell us about the book itself.
So the book is kind of a story about my mom who is my stepmother, my second mother. She came down with Alzheimer's a while ago, and I guess the book started as a way for me to kind of come to terms with what was happening to her, what was happening to all my family. But it's more than that. It's also, I hope, a kind of homage to her. She's actually my stepmother, my second mother, and she married my dad, who had 4 small girls under the age of 8, and basically saved our lives, gave us a normal, fun childhood, enabled us to be children. And so this tells about her life growing up in wartime Germany. There's a few poems about my first mother. There's a few poems about my father. And most of the poems are about my mom as a young woman, as an older woman, and then as a woman who is losing herself to Alzheimer's. So that's sort of how that came about.
So let's do some shameless promotion.
Oh
first,
my God.
Right?
Okay.
Shameless promotion. Printed by Kelsay Books, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Where can we find it?
You can find it, first of all, at Webster's Books Cafe. You can find it at the Kelsay Books website. It's available on Amazon, and I believe it's also available through Barnes & Noble, their online bookstore. And I hope also to bring some copies down to the Belfont Art Museum. Haven't done that yet.
All right, and you have this reading coming up, right?
I do. I will be. This is kind of our book launch, much delayed. I and 3 other poets had, 2 other poets had books come out this past year, and we have not been able to sort of promote them. And also Jack Troy, who is a poet in Juniata, Pennsylvania, has a recent book too. So we will be reading Mary McGuire, Steve Deutsch, myself, and Jack Troy will be each reading from our books tomorrow at 3 o'clock at St. John's Episcopal Church on Lamb Street in Belfont. We will be live. There will be, we're in the church, and so we ask everybody to be masked, but there will be lots of opportunity for social distancing. We will have a reception and signing afterwards. And if you are uncomfortable or are too far away to come in person, the church is also going to be streaming live on their Facebook page and on their YouTube page. So I hope you will join us. It's going to be really cool. And it's just so great. I had the opportunity to go to a live reading last week in Millheim, Pennsylvania, and it just felt so good to be with other people, to be listening and sharing poetry. So I hope you will join us.
Okay, we'll give you some more information about that in a little bit. But let's share some poetry.
Okay.
Yay!
All right.
Read to me.
Okay. And I also just want to say, the cover of this is a piece of crewel work that my mother did. It now hangs in my dining room, and I was so excited that it could be the cover for the photo that I forgot to give her credit in the book. But it's very large. It's about 46 by 27 inches, so it's quite lovely. So anyway, There's a plug for my mom. This poem is called Grace Notes. My mother just observed her 92nd birthday. She has weathered COVID. Fortunately, we are able to visit her again now. This poem took place before COVID and when we could really kind of visit her just about any time. This is called Grace Notes. It's for my sister Diane, who was with me on the occasion of this poem. I wish I had a lovely singing voice. There are lots of titles of songs here. I'm just going to read the title. I'm not going to sing to you, so be grateful. Grace Notes. Our mother spurns the treats we've brought, scowls at the rain, fellow residents dozing or moaning or yelling. An aide mentions a Valentine's party in the all-purpose room. We wheel Mom through a doorway trembling with balloons, pink and red and white. Heart-shaped cakes crinkle in plastic. Coffee steams in styrofoam cups. At a battered baby grand, a silver-haired man sings a dappled river of songs. I've got my love to keep me warm. Sentimental journey. Mom frowns, picks at her sweater. You're breaking my heart. Fly me to the moon. Her head nods with the beat. Feet and fingers tap. Her eyes quicken. Because of you. Let's do it. She sings softly. Baby, it's cold outside. Allegheny moon. Misty. Insists we share the wheelchair footrest. I get a kick out of you, night and day. Somewhere, my love. She turns to my sister and then to me. I'm so glad you're here. Someone to watch over me. You belong to me. Thank you.
What's so wonderful about that is just all those memories, right?
Mm-hmm,
and
absolutely.
how music is one of the last things or the last memories to go.
Yes.
I know from my own mother, who suffered from Alzheimer's and eventually died from complications of it, she was always humming and singing even if she didn't remember other things. So for any of us out there, that's
Yes.
that's just
Yes.
heartwarming and heartbreaking in both,
And
in
heartbreaking.
both ways, right?
Yeah. But it's I think music resonates for just about everyone. For my mother, it was especially important. She was never working or knitting or baking or cooking or just sitting outside playing Scrabble with my dad without the radio playing or the stereo going. Music is such a big part of her life.
Right.
In fact, if you read my book, you will find that there are many, many references to music and to singing and to song. Yeah.
And just the joy that it would bring back. So even
Absolutely.
if, especially like in the late stages of Alzheimer's where there was not a lot of communication or a lot of things,
Right.
but humming, all of a sudden you'd see
Absolutely.
that spark
Yep.
and,
Yeah, absolutely.
So we know where your inspiration for this came from.
Mm-hmm.
Where else? You've written several other chapbooks, short stories.
Yes.
You've done plays for Tempest.
I have.
Yeah. So, what inspires you? What makes you grab a story and decide?
Boy. That's a tough question because I don't really know. There are certainly things that have happened in my life or stories that I've heard. And sometimes you would think, wow, that would make such a great story or such a great poem. But for whatever reason, it doesn't connect. And maybe it hasn't sunk in deeply enough, or I have enough distance so that I can kind of write it. But I think every writer writes about himself or herself. And I do that, but not in a very overt way. The way I find out about what is important to me, what gives me meaning, what helps me make meaning of this kind of crazy world, is story and figuring out how to shape or pull that story, pull that poem out of the chaos Yeah, so sorry, I don't really have a good.
No, I mean, it's funny when,
A
you
good
always hear,
answer.
write what
Yeah.
you know, write what
Yes.
you know, right?
Yes.
And obviously when things are personal to us, right, we're writing about our
Right.
mothers or our
Right.
siblings or something that happened to us.
Yes.
You can
Yes.
catch that inspiration.
Yeah.
But you've also written about women in Venice.
Right.
You've written about...
Well, and the thing is, I don't. This is my most personal book. I don't like writing about myself. I would prefer, when I say I'm writing about my own life, I'm exploring, again, what just catches with me. But I do that, I feel much more able to do that when I'm writing about other people's lives, when I'm inhabiting other characters.
If you had a theme that you want to make sure you're writing about, like, that is always just part of you, it's
Yes.
indicative of your work, right?
Yes,
We know
yes.
that we're going to get X from your writing.
Yeah.
What would it be?
Wow. Thanks, Cynthia. I wish you would have told me about this earlier. I don't know. I guess I'm very interested in the connections between people, and I'm interested in how sorrow and joy, really, you can't tease them apart. How terror and comfort and safety, again, are so much a part of the same thing, the flip side of each other. You can't. And so I'm interested in those, the stories of people where, one thing you might see something on the surface, but underneath there's all this other stuff. And that other stuff is not necessarily bad or negative, but it may contradict, it challenges what we see, what we think we know on the surface. So I guess that's it.
Right.
And I hope you get I'm not very musical, but I love music, so I hope that you find some music in my words.
Yeah, the lyricism of them, the rhythms of them, right? The way words
Yes.
lilt.
The word,
Love that,
yes,
right?
absolutely.
So, you have written flash fiction.
I have.
Yeah,
I
right.
love flash fiction.
Okay, you've written short stories. You've written verse plays. You've also
have.
written poetry books. Okay, what's your favorite style here to play in this
I was
genre?
just I was having this conversation with a friend yesterday over coffee. I think the short story form is probably the most perfect form, because I love story, and so you'll find that my poems are primarily narrative. So flash fiction, and as I get older, it's like I don't have the patience or the stamina or whatever to do a really long story. So flash fiction enables me to tell those stories that I love, but also to write it in beautiful poetic language, and narrative poems sort of do that for me as well. I get a little uncomfortable sort of trying to call a piece of writing by a particular name. It's sort of like, you're confining it. But those are the two forms, I think, flash fiction and narrative poetry, that excite me the most in terms of producing it myself.
Okay, so now I'm going to put you on the spot again.
Okay.
Okay,
Here we
we
go.
have writers out there, hopefully, listening. What piece of advice, because you're publishing a lot lately, a lot has been happening recently for you, and you can,
Yep.
share some of that, but help the rest of us out, help others out.
One thing could be is you could retire. I've found that, and I always knew this, but teaching and writing draw on much of the same energy. And so now that I'm no longer teaching, I have more of that energy. But I think, and I think this is something that I struggled with for a very long time, is don't worry so much about what other people say or what you think other people are saying. Learn as much as you can. Listen to the voices who are looking at your work with an open mind, but also who are sort of value the same things. And so, always work on your writing, but have that confidence in yourself. to keep doing it, and know that when you hit the wall, if you hit a slump or that writer's block, it comes back. It comes back. And writing is so great because you really don't need much. I need a computer because my handwriting's so atrocious I can't read it. But really, most people, all you need is a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, and it's there for you. It's there for you as long as you have language, which I hope that you have language until your very last breath. That's certainly what I hope for myself.
Yay.
So.
I'm going to come join her now. I'm
Okay.
coming back in. Hey, you get my big face in there. Sorry about that, everyone. One of the things that I like that you were just talking about was about making space for you, right? Because we hear a lot
Absolutely.
about find your space, find your people, find X, right?
Yes.
And it's really about making that happen, right?
You do. Yeah, you really have to create that space. It's not going to drop in your lap. I made space when I was teaching full time, but I didn't make enough space. I think I could have done more of that. But now that I do have the time, it's just coming more. I'm just not, that energy is for me. In some ways I wish I had worked harder at my writing when I was younger, but now I have this whole new thing, something that I've been working on, but not 100%. And now here I am in my advanced age, and I've got this lovely, fun thing to do. So, yeah.
No, we're not gonna talk about advanced
No, we're not
stages.
gonna. No, we're not gonna do
We're
that.
not.
We're not.
So, once again, Mary Rohrer-Dann and her book, Taking the Long Way Home, which you can find at various places here in Center County. You can find it, did you say it's on Amazon as well, right?
It's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble's, their
And-
online store.
And of course, at Webster's Bookstore.
Absolutely, at Webster's.
Right. Elaine has copies. And
Yes.
tomorrow we'll talk again about your reading. So thanks for joining us here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now she's going to
This was
stay
fun.
in the camera with me
Oh, no.
as we kick off what's happening this weekend. Right, Paul, we're going to let you take it over and talk about tonight and Happy Valley Improv.
Right, so tonight with Happy Valley Improv, we have at the Blue Brick Theater, we are featuring at 7 p.m. tonight, we are featuring Off Key, Hiram and an Aluminum Pole, and Zipper Merge, which are different shows that they're going to have tonight. A Tonight Show at 7 p.m. at the Blue Brick Theater downtown. And we do want to remind people that they are requiring vaccines for people buying tickets, but you can purchase tickets. They're $12.50. Oop, you can. Sorry, Mary, I'm taking your banner down. I apologize. But yeah, you can purchase tickets for $12.50 online if you look up happyvalleyimprov.com. So that is one of the many things going on this weekend, and you can attend that tonight.
All right. So, Happy Valley Improv tonight at 7 p.m. And then tomorrow, not that we have competing events because you can attend them both. At 2 p.m. tomorrow, we have Magic Words. And we will be featuring the works of Maya Angelou, Gwendolyn Brooks, Nikki Giovanni, Pablo Neruda, Naomi Shahid Nye, Alberto Rios, Carolyn Rogers, Bo Sia, Tanea Winder, as well as a few other authors, as we look at words that inspire us, words that help create dialogues and actions that will build better lives for our children and better worlds for our children. And tomorrow is World Kids Day. So Tempest Productions will be kicking that off. Our readers tomorrow, I'm going to make Paul scroll up so I don't forget anybody.
Yep.
Right? Our readers
Let's get
tomorrow
everybody,
are
yep.
artists. Roxana Orojo, Darylyn J., myself, Elaine Meter-Wilgus, Laura Riley, and Tiara Williams. And we'll be talking about reading and sharing some of these poetries and the words that have inspired us and the authors that have inspired us. And that's at 2 p.m. tomorrow. It is virtual, so all you have to do is go to tempestproductions.org and go right to Magic Words and click on that button for Join Us, or come right on our Facebook page and it will be there live, as well as our YouTube page. Tomorrow at 3 p.m., Mary's reading, and that is the Out Loud Bellefonte And Paul's going to scroll down to that.
Yep, you can see Out Loud Bellefonte is happening at 3 p.m. As Mary mentioned earlier, at St. John's Episcopal Church. You can see it live 3 p.m. at St. John's Episcopal Church on 120 West Lamb Street, right in downtown Bellefonte. And if you are able to, if you're able to attend live, or if you aren't, they have it on their available. You can see on this link here. You can see it through YouTube or through their Facebook page. You can attend virtually if you're unable to make it to the live performance. And Mary and many other wonderful poets and authors will be there, and that should be a really St. John's is a nice venue, and it's a really great place. So.
Right. And I'll be coming from our live broadcast at 2 and jumping in to watch hers virtual at 3 because I'll be in the Poconos. We'll be coming to you from the Poconos tomorrow.
Ooh.
Coming up November 28th through December 5th, 8 nights of Hanukkah stories. So as we move into the winter season and all of the festivals and all of the holidays that happen, Tempest Productions will be hosting readings of stories, readings of books, readings of poems, and taking a look specifically during the Festival of Lights from November 28th through December 6th with Hanukkah stories. We have for the very, very young, and then we also have for the young and their families, and we'll also be looking at a number of curated stories from NPR's Festival of Lights and their storytelling. You'll be able to find that on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, and on our website. Then, it's Adam Swartz. Yay, Adam and Kathy, love them. Talk to me, Paul, what's happening?
Yay, so Adam and Kathy, having just wrapped up a few weeks ago the Saki Horror Picture Show, which was a blast. Adam and Kathy are back again for Christmas, doing 2 performances of A Christmas Carol. If you haven't seen it, they do an absolutely wonderful job. My family's seen it before, and it's just a lot of fun. So there are 2 performances on. First one is on December 4th at the Millbrook Marsh Center, and the second performance is December 20th at the State Theater. So they will be. You can purchase tickets going to adamschwartz.com. You can go to their Adam Schwartz Puppets and look down to the. If you go to their website, you can find out. Purchase tickets and ask questions, everything. It's a great show. And if you want to see them sometime in between, they will also be at the Bellefonte Victorian Christmas Breakfast with Santa on December 11th. So they'll be hanging out and bah humbugging around with...
there'll be puppets!
And there'll be puppets at breakfast with Santa. I mean, come on.
I didn't even think. We should have brought... We'll do this on the December 3rd. Let's bring the puppets we made at the Puppet Workshop.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that was a blast. We had a lot of fun with those. So yeah, it's great for adults. It's great for kids. Christmas Carol is wonderful, and it's just a really, really fantastic show. Yeah, we should bring the puppets in.
Let's do it. December 10th, we will be coming to you live from Webster's Bookstore Cafe with Holiday Tales. And these are going to be tales that look at all of the different holidays across the world, the winter holidays. So we'll be talking about Kwanzaa tales and Christmas stories and Boxing Day and all of the different ways that different nationalities and countries celebrate New Year's Eve and New Year's Day as we take a look, as we finish up from Hanukkah into the next set. And then from December 11th through January 6th, those tales, one a day, will be run through the 12th day of Christmas, basically, and to get us into the new year. And Paul and I are taking a week off. It's right. I guess it's only a week, isn't it, Paul?
I think so. Yeah. just next week.
Just next Friday. We're gonna let you mull about in your turkey coma, and whatever else you choose, whether it's Chinese food. There was a big discussion about let's just have Chinese food again, right? Mm-hmm. As many of my friends in New York City do, right? December 3rd, we'll be back with Live at 1 with playwright Mary Gage and talking about her new piece as we come up. So that's kind of it. Paul, got anything to add?
Nothing really. Just wishing everybody a good week, and we'll see you soon. And thank you, Mary, for your time and for sharing so much of your work.
Thank you, Paul. And anything you want to add to everybody out there?
No, just please tune in or come in person. Steve Deutsch, Mary McGuire, Jack Troy, and myself, Mary Rohrer-Dann. And also, I will be reading 4 poems from Sarah Russell, who just recently moved to Denver and would have joined us, but
Okay.
she's in Denver.
And is Julia Kasdorf reading for someone?
And Julia Kasdorf will be reading from Mary McGuire.
So there we go. We've got lots happening between now and the new year, and we hope to see you either in person or here on the camera and virtual, and have a wonderful week. It has been live at 1 p.m. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.